been better if you hadn't made a unilateral decision without getting the input from the community sometime earlier.
Well, we had our annual meeting in December. And on the morning of the annual meeting, which was posted in the 6 places around town, it said discussion of potential solar projects.
Nothing showed up.
Jim Brookman showed up.
Okay, so one person did.
Yeah.
But the discussion was, here's the deal, here's what we're doing. That's how I experienced
No,
it. I came
well,
in, here's
on
what
March
we're doing.
9th,
It
we had
wasn't
an
like, it was already presented as a done deal.
No, it was, I mean, you can't present something unless you have something to present.
We've come a long way. We've come a long way. We found out a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, all of us, I think, have been to the meetings too. And there's more to come. This lady here is, wants to,
I don't know what she's looking
well, I'm just saying that it's,
When's your normal annual meeting?
for. Say it again?
When is the annual meetings?
They're in the meeting in December or November. We've had them both December or November. I think the bylaws say November. It's at the end of the year.
I have something. This is making, you know, I was just reading this because I didn't receive one of these in the mail either, but it's also in bold letters about that otherwise if, you know, you vote against this, there's going to be a $6 rise in the quarterly water bill. It is kind of everything against, like if you are against this, then you're a bad person. I mean, it's,
No, just tell it the way it is. That's all open to
Well, it was
that's all open to interpretation.
I understand that, but it was in your email that said not to put our opinions in this as well. I mean, it would have been fair, and then it wouldn't have felt like propaganda if the opposing, you know, opinions were in there.
But we're trying to support this for revenue for our operation. So we're not gonna solicit negative stuff, which you're all entitled to solicit or think or promote or whatever you wanna do, which is fine if that's the way you feel about it negatively, but we're working at this as to gain an asset for operating expenses.
But you can't guarantee that you still won't raise the water rates. Can you guarantee that?
For 20
We're not
years?
Who can guarantee any of that stuff?
For 20 years, but that's kind of, I mean, what it's saying, it's like, either do this, vote for it, or this is gonna be raised, but it's not, you
Well,
know.
probably if we don't get this, there's a very, very good chance that we're gonna immediately have to raise the rates, yeah, that's.
And if you
that's a
do
safe-
get it, can you say that you won't raise the rates for 20 years?
For 20 years, no, who knows what our expenses are gonna be, I mean, who's gonna do that, you know?
I don't know, I'm just saying, I mean, that would, I don't know.
Well,
Just-
that's-
All we're
Just a
trying to do
question.
is just try to, you know, as a group here, this is our idea of how to move forward to try to sustain this water system. We're not against you, we're not, you know, we got people requested records from 10 years ago. I mean, all this stuff, it's just like, I don't get it.
It's only you guys against us, I mean, we've been taking your stuff into consideration, since we started scaling back the operation, due to concerns of the neighbors and things like that. And now the fact that it's even down to a 150 kilowatt thing tucked down in the back corner, and everybody's ranting and raving about it. And unless you're standing out in the middle of Route 346 from your house, you ain't seeing it. So, you know, I mean, it's more like you guys
Let's go put it up
after
by your
us.
house.
What's that?
You go put it up on your house. By your house.
We don't have land there.
Oh.
Oh, well, that's it.
Ray does.
Can I just ask something? I have been dying to ask this, and I have not wanted to get into this, but I need to ask one question. How did somebody that doesn't live in the fire district be on board? When I was on the fire district, that wasn't allowed. And it says in the bylaws, not so many, well, it does say it. It said if someone leaves the board, leaves the committee, then one can be appointed until elected by a, what does it say?
Really,
Annually special meeting.
Yeah, but it has to be live in the district.
It doesn't say that, but,
Resident
Walt
of the such
owns-
district,
Walt owns
yes it does.
property in the district.
That doesn't matter, so does Mr.
Winchester.
Winchester, he owns it.
And he couldn't sit on the board when we sat on the board, because he doesn't reside in the district.
It says vacancies. And then it says the selectmen of the town may fill a vacancy in such committee until an election by an appointment of a resident of such district. We were a 3-member board. We had a hard time getting people to come to vote, so we dragged them here. But it was a 3-member, and you could not vote unless you were a fire district resident. So I've
I'm not
for a few
voting.
years now. No, you shouldn't be voting on anything. You shouldn't be sitting on the board voting
Could
whether
I-
to go
could I
have
read-
Green Lantern.
Could I read this bylaws for you, please?
I just read the bylaws, Ray. I'm not stupid.
I'm not.
I sat in your
Right.
chair once. We didn't get free
May I-
water. We didn't get a stipend because we'd have had to have, like you guys, raise the rates. We did everything we could for people to get cheap water. That is not what our board is doing, and I'm sorry. But you guys have taken money long enough. It's time. You add up all that money that you have gotten. Oh, you didn't pay a water bill. So you take out, I don't know, do you pay a water bill for your rental?
No.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 sitting at where's 5, Mr. Quinn? That's 5. At $115 every 3 months. You add that by the years that you have gotten free water, and that's where a lot of your money has gone, and it's not fair. It's not fair to the other people that have to pay the bill.
Well, let them come up here and run the system.
Well, we would.
Well, nobody.
Had enough of this.
I would
No,
like-
you're gonna get a lousy $3,000. Why don't you guys pay your water bill for a year? What's that, 2,000 so? 2,200. $2,300. Just your water bills. Oh, I
Article
know, it's
6,
just,
officers.
it's so terrible.
No, I'm reading the bylaws.
Okay.
Article 6, officers.
Yeah, and by the way, annual meeting is November. Why was it in December?
No, it's January.
Because
No, it's
January
November.
its bylaws is November, January is by the state if it's not listed in the bylaws.
Well, so Phil, they had
So it's either November or January.
ours was always November. Because that's what it said you had
Right,
to
and
have.
that's their bylaws, say November.
Article 6, officers. Resignation. Any officer may resign at any time by giving written notice of such resignation to the Prudential Committee. Unless otherwise specified in such written notice, such resignation shall take effect upon receipt thereof. The acceptance of such resignation shall not be necessary to make it effective. Vacancy. Number 4. A vacancy occurring in any district office other than Prudential Committee members caused by death, resignation, removal from the fire district, or incapacity of an officer to carry out his duties shall be temporarily filled by the Prudential Committee within 30 days after the vacancy occurs and until the date when the newly elected officers take office. The vacancy shall then be filled at the next annual meeting. Removal. Any officer may be removed by a vote of the Prudential Committee when there are at least 2 votes for such action.
Under Article 6, under Prudential Committee, it says, any vacancy of Prudential Committee may be filled at an annual meeting, right, special meeting called for that purpose. I just read it to you.
The selectmen of the
Right.
town may fill a vacancy in such committee until an election by appointment of a resident of such district.
Appointment of a resident of such district.
Such appointee shall serve until the next annual or special meeting of the fire district, at which time the term shall be declared vacant and the election held to fill the unexpired portion of the term. Well, okay.
Sorry, Walt, nothing against you.
That's all right. Hey, it
You
is
know,
what it is.
I'm sure you've done your best. It's just that if Mr. Winchester couldn't be on the board, I don't know why you are. You know, it's just, don't quite seem right.
Very plank, I don't know.
Yes.
Well, as far as it goes, at least he does have property there.
But he's not, that's not what they said, Alex. I know he
I
has
know,
property.
Sharon, I'm just saying.
Right, he does, but he is not in the district, impersonal. Stick his tenant up there.
You're right, you're 100% right.
No more free water for you all.
It's all right.
Well, let's move on, we'll just have to deal with that. Discussion of occupied house on Church Street, currently only paying bond payment. I did drive by the house in question, the house next to Canal's house. Cindy, would you please write a letter to Canal and send a bill for 2 water payments? So that, now does that house have its own shut off?
I would assume, I haven't looked to see, but I'm sure it does.
So 2 extra ones, so 3 altogether.
Well, the Canal house is the last one before Church Street turns left in Gallaudet, that's it. But next to it is a house with laundry outside and cars in the parking lot. But at this point, the Canals pay $115 water bill and $139.87 because that house was occupied. So I don't know how, whether they turned on the water,
The water's probably not.
you know.
Somebody's always lived there. Somebody's always lived there.
Number 6, discussion of consumer confidence
Doesn't look
report.
fit to live in, Sharon.
No, I wouldn't live there. Somebody does. What's that? You can visit the squirrels, I heard.
Discussion of consumer confidence report, new chlorine reporting requirement. Alex and I had a side discussion about this. He described how he's gonna give me the figures, we'll fill in, and we're gonna mail the consumer confidence report with the July bill. So that's taken care of. That's a detail of a measurement of how much chlorine is put into the water.
How come we have to have chlorine? Sorry, I missed it. Why do we have to have chlorine?
We don't,
Did we have a break?
we don't have to.
It's a precaution because of some issues, specifically an issue with the meter vault that goes to the Green Mountain Trailer Park. It's old and.
Well, it's a good precautionary measure.
Was there a leak?
No,
No.
no, it's just that, you know what I mean, it's just, the state's gonna eventually tell us we're gonna have to do it all the time. But,
I won't be drinking it anymore then. Mm-mm.
Well, you can,
it's just
higher in the
I just
summer
put just
than
a
winter.
trace. It's the
Right.
lowest measured amount you can put in there. And so far, we don't have any bacteria. So I'm not, you know.
Yeah, I think, didn't we used to have to do that before if we had a break
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff like that?
Yeah.
That's why I asked
Yeah,
if we
yeah,
have a
no.
break.
There's no issues, but we don't want any issues either, you know what I mean? This is a precautionary thing until the state tells us the mandates, and we do it all the time.
All right, something number 7, discussion by the board about sending a bill to the fire department for taking of water for swimming pool filling. Now, they did confess that they took 1,500 gallons. So Cindy, would you please send a bill to the fire department for $15, which is 1 cent a gallon. Number 8, discussion by the board about progress made on arranging for hydrant flushing. Any progress on that?
Other than Casey, that's it, right? You said you talked to
Right, Casey or, Strohmeyer, but Casey, what he's got for equipment, I think would be a better thing. He said on a rainy day, when they're probably not gonna be grading. So whoever's gonna do it, you or whoever is gonna plan on doing it with them or whatever, would be give them a call, after you see like a week or 2 week, weather report. If the supposed to be a couple days, just ask them if it'll be grading that day, and if it's not raining too bad, that would be, you know, a good time to set up one.
Right.
They gonna put it in the tanker, or they gonna let them just run the floor?
Let's
No, no,
see.
that's the schedule with Casey, because he's got that big calcium chloride tank, and if we get in touch with him ahead of time, I already spoke to him, he's cleaning out in good shape and stuff like that, and we can fill it that, so we're not gonna be draining it down, you know, people's front yards and, you know, flooding their property and
Right.
stuff like that, yeah. Because we used to do it with the fire department,
Yeah, no.
but, yeah, then they changed whatever their insurance or whatever, so they can't do it anymore, so now we've been scrambling around trying to set it up, and then when you go to outside contractors, the fees they want to pump it out, to come down with a truck and stuff like that, is like, you gotta be kidding me.
So the town agreed to do it for nothing, just as long as it's a rainy day, or do we have to pay?
No, that's in the, no, Casey agreed to do it, as, you know, part of helping the municipality
That's
and
good.
stuff like that, I talked to him about it, and it was the agreement that we came to, and, you know, I was actually surprised, you know, that he said that, he was very receptive to the idea, and, you know, it's good to be able to do something with no charge.
In the past year or so, since the fire department hasn't been working with us, I've been able to drain the end hydrants, in other words,
Mhm.
at the end of Lincoln Street, drain that in the river, and I catch one above it. I was able to drain the one up by the old firehouse into the brook, and I did the one at the end of the line across from Jimmy's store, you know,
Yeah.
the trailer park.
What happens when they don't get flushed? They said,
Silt is in the water, silt comes out the tap.
locks them up.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
often do you have to take them?
Supposed to do it once a year, but the fire department has withdrawn like 2 years ago. So the whole system hasn't been flushed.
But
Parts of it,
What's it-
everything that Alex
But by
can do.
doing the end of the lines, you pretty much get, you
Get a
know what
lot
I
of
mean?
stuff out.
And as far as the state goes, we're within compliance.
See, the issue is some places you can drain it into a swale or into a river, but other places it would go all over people's lawns, so it has to be flushed into a tanker. So it doesn't flood the area.
So it's like Sharon's one.
Yeah, like my house.
I know the taker's part, okay.
All right. I did my, I carefully put away my agenda. All right, so hydrant flushing, just have to, Walt, if you could talk to,
Casey?
Casey, and try to get them more specific, that would be great. Public comment accepted from meeting attendees, we've been pretty much talking with you, is there any other comments anybody has? Is there any other business anybody has?
It would just be like, I'll get with Alex too, because it's gonna be availability,
Yeah.
the hose and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll talk with him
I've
first.
got 2 loads of hose,
Okay.
pretty much. You should get us into
The
the truck.
wrench and all that stuff.
No, get us into the truck and the wrench, you know.
All right, does anybody have any other business?
There's postage.
Yeah, I spent $2 for copies. But personally, I feel like my, inability to be perfect has cost the board some money, so I don't want my stipend check this month. So clear that up. We're gonna have to put the ad in again, we're gonna have to write a new letter with a new warning and mail it out to the landowners. So, I'll be in touch about another envelope stuffing event, which hopefully will go quicker. And,
Get us material anyway, right? Should be.
yeah, it would just be an amended letter describing the floor vote and then a copy of the amended warrant. Does anybody have any other business? May I hear a motion to adjourn?
I moved to adjourn.
May I hear a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded, all in favor? Aye. Meeting is adjourned.
So, well, any days better for you, like offhand, or?
No, I'm gonna be real flexible with that one, Watson, Casey's good enough to supply with manpower to truck.
Yeah. How
I
long,
figured in the fall when it's not so hot, you know.